Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Invictus Racing League.
Hello.
This is the inside track, and just in time, we've got our guest. So I'll tell him before we start. Introduce him in a minute. I'm just going to do the intro. This is the Invictus Racing League, the Inside Track podcast. I'm your host with the most, Malc. Today, I'll be talking about speaking to one of the guests that's just joined in tonight. And with me, I've known him for many, many years,
11.
11 years to be precise. He's been a good driver. He's been after all those championships for God knows. And I always call him the old veteran every time when I'm doing the commentating and stuff. Like I say, he's been a good driver, and I just keep that up as well. And I'd just like to say hello to Tej, aka Tom. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, excuse me. Good, thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. And hello, everyone who's watching.
Well, we just literally just started, so hopefully everyone will join as quickly as possible. But with me, like I said tonight, we're just going to talk about the your history of F1, like in your career of your online stuff, and where you're going to
Okay.
be in this season and stuff. Just like a history of like your career past. Um, for
Yeah,
the
no
for
problem.
for the guys who are listening, this will be on Spotify and iTunes later on. For now, this is streamed live at the Twitch stream. If you're going, and good evening to everyone that's joined. If you've got any questions or queries, I've got the comments up. But yeah, if you've got any questions or queries to myself or to Tom about anything that you want to query about, we'll be here till probably about 8 o'clock or an hour or so. So, but yeah, Tom, regarding your career, what was
hmm
your what was your first ever F1 memory of your
First
on?
ever from memory.
Yeah,
Online
yeah,
racing.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that'd be when on the PC. Grand Prix 3. So you're going back some years there. Probably about 98, 99. I was about 13 years old. I remember playing that on the keyboard.
Oh,
And then
really?
yeah, then I got a wheel, and but I also played like like F197 on the PlayStation 1.
Yes, I do.
And that was probably like my first ever Formula 1 game. If you obviously that wasn't online. That was just Murray Walker commentary with Martin Brundle and what have you. So yeah, that was like my first ever one. I still got it actually.
Have you?
Yeah, the original PlayStation.
Oh, okay. Fair dues, fair dues. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good to be fair to me because those were like the old classics and stuff. The
Oh
old
yeah.
F1s. But I bet you wish you
Back
wanted to
where
be of the F1 stuff, don't you?
well, I'd like them to do like patches and stuff in the games where you could use the old cars, but like in a full season, rather than just use like one or two of them from that season,
Yeah,
like the whole cars. But no, back then though, once they did a game, like on PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, you know yourself, Mark, that it had to be finished. There was no patches, there was no updates, it was just a finished edition. Unlike now, when we get like a game from Codemasters and things like the safety car doesn't work or you get glitches and then they
yeah.
have to patch it and what have you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just like if you wanted an extra one, it's just like, oh, you can't get it. It's there.
Mm,
That's what you're gonna get regardless. And I think that was like the perfect games. I know they're not like the best quality back then, but it was still a finished product, as shall we say.
yeah, absolutely.
But your first ever memory was like the PC game. Well, that's good, and the F197 stuff. Regarding the online, proper online now,
Mm.
what was your first ever online game of F1? That
First ever
screw.
online game of F1. It
Yeah.
was when it was when I met you actually because I remember we both joined the site at the same time.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
You like to say it? You like to say the name?
Well, this is the Invictus run, so it just
Yeah,
say it as well.
it was yeah, it was when I met you, and we used to do there's like a F1 Championship 2006 game.
Yes.
Yeah, and we used to me, you, IDAC UK, Rich 3000. There was a couple of no, yeah, can't think of who else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like you know what I mean. But they never used to do races. They used to do like time trials where you could drive through each other. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that pretty
Yeah,
well, to be fair.
and
But
then
it, but then you were just like, oh, just at the same time, you beat me to it. I think, if I remembered it right, I think you beat me to it on one of the races when we started, and then we just clicked from that moment and stuff. So,
yeah,
um, but yeah, like I said, with the battles that we had in the past, it's unbelievable stuff.
but not just on the racing though, Malc. We used to always have games on FIFA, Top Spin 3.
Oh
You know
God,
what I mean?
yeah, bloody
Yeah,
hell.
probably going back a while now, but you remember them?
Yeah, bloody
Yeah.
hell. There's a hack for the top spin three. I'm just like, yeah, I'll just get the 99 plus
Yeah,
rating.
there's that for me using like an 80 or 75 rated
Yeah,
and playing you with like a 90 rated. I'm like, how long have you spent to upload your guy? And you're like,
one
oh, I
day.
didn't, I just cheated.
One day. No,
No, that was good.
that was a good times and stuff. Oh, good evening to Mike. He says evening, Malc, and evening, Tom. And
Evening, Mike.
Stephen Double O says bring back Murray Walker, commentate on F1 games, put Jeff into retirement.
Yeah,
It's a
no, he's not
shame.
wrong, is he?
Yeah, that's true. It's a shame because Murray Walker's like in his 90s, I think.
97, 98.
Yeah, it's
Oh, he's still sharp as a tackler, Matt Malc. He's still very sharp, even though he's very old now. It's like he did a did a commentary thing on the McLaren on Twitter about a few months ago of Senna around Monaco, and they
yeah.
used him like as in now, not his old footage, but the footage of him now.
Oh, really?
I always said I'd love to have met him, but I think time's meet running out now. I met John Surtees at the Autosport show a few years ago,
Oh, okay.
before he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw his championship winning Ferrari and his championship winning two-wheel motorbike because he's the only champion who Formula One have had who won on motorbikes and also won the Formula One.
Bloody hell.
So yeah,
Fair dues. Fair dues. Like I said, everyone, here's a debate, and people may want to
mm
answer this as well. Because I know this year is like the 1000th Grand Prix, the real life Grand Prix this
yeah,
year. Now, I think it's at China, I believe. People
yeah.
saying bring back Murray Walker for that 1000th race.
Yeah.
What's it? I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but if it ever did happen, would you ever like to see that happen, or would you rather see him at
Oh yeah. God yeah. I mean, I remember remember 2007 when Hamilton just joined McLaren.
Yes.
It was a German Grand Prix, and the BBC Radio 5 live commentator was off ill. So for one Grand Prix, after he retired, they got Murray Walker on Radio 5 Live to do the commentary. So me and my dad sit in the living room watching the qualifying of the race. We turn the TV volume down and we listen to Murray Walker on Radio 5 Live commentate on the race as we were watching it.
Fair enough. Fair
It was
enough.
just for one off.
Just for the one-off. Well,
Yeah,
that's
but
good.
yeah,
Bloody hell. It's just you do want him back, but obviously you just you don't want him like as with the old classics, the old greatest,
mm,
going and stuff. But it's like I would love to see him like do one commentary probably at Britain, for
mm,
within this year, within the
yeah.
it's not the 1000th one, but it would be nice to see him do it. But it'll be. Can you imagine if he?
Oh, it'd be great.
What was your favourite quote from him? Can you remember?
Oh, I'm going to stop the start watch. And when Schumacher was coming behind Coulthard, I think it's Pouin in Spa, 1998, and he's talking dead quietly, like he goes, and Schumacher comes around the corner, he's going to lap Coulthard, he's like, oh my goodness! And he just hit remember that when he hit the back of Coulthard, he lost his
Yeah,
wheels? Yeah, and
yeah,
and Schumacher's in the garage, and he takes his helmet off, he takes his mask off, and then Murray Walker's pretending to be Schumacher, and Schumacher's saying, "I'm going to go to the stewards," and he doesn't. He walks straight into the McLaren garage, have a cool down.
I,
Oh,
re- I remember that. That was 21 years ago this year now. That
mm.
Belgium. Absolutely insane stuff. Stephen says, what F1 car livery do you two like from this coming season? That's a good one,
Oh.
actually. So, all right, the guest will say it first. What's your best ever livery this season of the real
Oh,
F1?
for this season, all 10 teams.
Yeah.
There's two. I'm biased because I'm a McLaren fan, but I think the best one, and quite possibly one of the best ever, is the Mercedes livery. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, okay. So, if you had to pick one of them two, though, if you had to pick one of them two,
What if I had to pick one of them two?
yeah.
I'd pick the Mercedes, but the McLaren runs it very close.
I had to pick them. I had to pick the Mercedes. No, no, no. But I'm going to pick the McLaren.
I'll have half and half. Half
Yeah.
silver, half orange.
Oh, can you imagine if they split that, like cutting off and merged
Oof.
together? 'Cause, like,
Like the BAR team, do you remember them?
yeah, yeah, I remember that. That was just a madness. Oh, let's just split it.
Yeah,
Is it a McLaren? Is it a McLaren? No, it's a Mercedes. No, it's
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I don't know what to say. It's a 50-50. I better not phone a friend or ask the audience here, but that's the goal on that one. But yeah,
The
uh,
audience.
yeah. But I tell you what, it's for me. I like. It's a tough one because I like the McLaren. I do like the Red Bull livery, like like when you. I don't know. I just love that Red Bull,
The
and I
red
do
of
like.
it.
Yeah, I like the red bit of the Red Bull.
Hmm.
Um, the livery one looks really good. To be fair,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, it was just absolutely really good. But obviously that's the test livery, so that they won't keep it like
Yeah.
that.
They'll go back to the normal one, won't they?
Yeah, that's just a shame because that was just like they always do the best ones for the Red Bulls. They do the best liveries ever for the
Hmm.
test ones, but they don't use it on the actual real ones, and it's just a
See, I don't
stupid.
agree with that.
Oh
You wait,
really?
you wait 5, 6 months. Yeah, you wait 5, 6 months to see the cars, and when the cars get released, you're not really interested in what the car is. You're more interested in the colour of it and what it looks like, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true, true. But it's
So,
just
so if they launch a test livery, it's like great. I'd rather see the real thing. So you're just teasing us for no reason.
yeah, but
That's
like
my way of it. Mm.
yeah, it's a shame because it's like I do like how the Red Bulls do it. They do give them
Yeah.
wings all the time, but you know what I mean. It's just absolutely, they do everything right. Mike says, as we were on about the Coulthard Schumacher incident, he was like, Coulthard admitted that it was like lifted there. Stevens says, I like the Red Bulls livery if they keep to that. Mike says the testing livery is better than the real one. It's a shame,
Mm.
really, Stevens said. And then even the real colour is not that appealing. Mike, is that for the Red Bull you're still on about? Sorry. I don't know if that's what he's on about. But regarding the livery stuff,
Yeah.
if you was had Tom Formula One racing or Tedra
Oof.
F1 racing, and you had to pick two drivers and the colour of the car, or whether it doesn't matter if you got a Mercedes powered or whatever.
Right.
Um, what colour would you have, or what livery would you like in your F1 team, and who uh, and two drivers past or present would you have?
That's a really tough one. That two drivers past our present. Uh, that's a real tough one. I think you have to have a flair driver and a consistent driver. So I'd have to say Senna
Okay.
and I don't know, ah, uh,
Sorry.
Senna and Schumacher was more like the Prost Lauda mold. He was more meticulous. He wasn't exactly flair, was he? So Senna and Schumacher.
Ooh, Senna and Schumacher. Ooh, that would be. Can you imagine if they've had like the rivalry in the
Oh
garages
yeah.
as well? Um, but yeah, for the guys who are listening, if you got your drivers, who would you pick? Your two drivers. Oh, Steven says Senna and Schumacher for me. Mike about the Ferrari says the Ferrari livery is like too bright or too oddly bright this year, and
Yeah, it is.
uh, it's like he's trying to be blind on the Ferrari on that one, but I thought they would try to do a bit more darker stuff like back in the old days and stuff, but
Yeah,
obviously
like
not.
blood red.
Yeah, pretty much. But they didn't go for that one, to be fair, which is a bit of a weird one. And
Mm.
what livery would you have? What like livery would you have in your dream F1?
Am I doing team?
Yeah,
That's a good one. Possibly like the British Racing Green. Remember, like the old Jaguar.
yeah, yeah.
Probably that. Yeah, British Racing Green.
Oh,
Yeah, I go
okay.
for that.
You all right? Do you remember the Jaguar seasons in F1? I think it was in 2000, 2001, or 99. I think
Mhm.
it was before um, they
2000, 2003, I think they were.
yeah, they had
Because
that.
it was the old Stewart team.
Yes, that was it. It was the old Stewart team, but it was. I don't know why it was. I just loved that livery. I don't know why it was. I
Mm.
just absolutely loved it. Um, I don't know what. It's a shame they couldn't do any trophies or challenge or something, but it was a nice livery of the car, and it was just
Yeah, they got a few podiums. I think Eddie Irvine got a podium at Monaco once. Johnny Herbert might have got a podium, but Johnny Herbert was in his last season for them. He wasn't. He lost it by then. 'Cause if you remember, he won the European Grand Prix at the Nürburgring and the Stewart the year before.
oh okay,
Mm.
oh okay, fair enough, fair enough. My mind just didn't kick in and stuff,
Sorry, mate.
but
I've got a weird, stupid memory of Formula One. It's daft. I think
it's
it's
all
my
right.
autism.
I remember bits of the F1, like bits back then, but it's just not. It
Mm.
didn't actually kick in until like 2005, 2006, I think it was. I can't remember. But
Mm.
Mike was saying Senna and Michael Schumacher. Also, Steven says Senna and Schumacher for himself. Steven's got a good question actually. What two British drivers of all time would you pick for a team?
What two British drivers?
For me, I would say Hamilton and Damon Hill. I would,
That's an interesting combination.
yeah, I would say them too because
Quite surprised at that. Go on,
I,
go
it was because if Johnny Herbert didn't had that crash at Brands Hatch or anything
on.
like that, I think even though he came back into F1 and carried on racing, but I still think, would you ever like to see him win titles? I don't know. Um, would you ever seen him like to see world titles back then?
Johnny Herbert.
Yeah,
Uh, he did well. Here's the thing with that, right? Is that people go on about how he broke his ankles and what have you, but you forget that he did recover, and he wouldn't have got a Bennett. He wouldn't have got in the Benetton team alongside Schumacher if he didn't recover. And I think he was a good driver. Don't get me wrong, he was a good driver. I just don't think he was top. But my two would be Hamilton and
yeah,
Jenson Button because I really enjoyed those years when they were at McLaren. It was like you had the ultimate balance. You had the genuine speed of Hamilton, but then you had the guile and the craft of Button. But imagine from a marketing perspective, because when they were together at McLaren, when they had the Vodafone, they had all these sponsors, they had all because they were everywhere, weren't they? They were plastered absolutely everywhere because it was a British team with British drivers, and everyone loved them.
yeah, definitely. That's a good choice to be fair. It was like, yeah, it was like fair enough for that one. Yeah, I would have. I didn't. I don't know why I didn't pick Button, but I'll just think of like Hill,
Yeah.
because he won it based on his dad's winning title back in the 60s, I think it was, and then he emulated it of his father's work in the 90s as well.
Yeah.
Not many titles, but he only won the one. But he did
No,
like
yeah. That's what they both did. Yeah, they both won the one, didn't they?
yeah. So that it was like Hill, the Hill family that won it
Mm.
and stuff. Good evening to Gareth. He says Hamilton and Moss. Oh, Steve.
Oh, so
Oh,
Sterling.
yeah. And oh, Stevens says Hamilton and Mansell. Now,
Oh, Nigel Mansell. Nah, he doesn't count. He's from Jersey.
yeah.
That's a
Oh,
joke.
yeah.
I got a
Yeah.
funny story about Damon Hill, Malc.
I have you.
Yeah, well, at the last British Grand Prix,
Yeah.
I was stood about a metre away from him, at the other side of the fence. You know, when at the end of the Grand Prix they do the F1 show, don't they? They're all talking and
Yeah. Yeah.
what have you. So I've had a few beers and I was a bit rowdy and happy because Hamilton won, and everyone was like Damon, 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 like for pictures and stuff, and I shouted, Damien!
What did he
And
respond back to?
no, he's like he tried to ignore it, but the people around us are just roaring in laughter because it was obvious. It's obvious that I know his name's Damon, but I just went Damien, Damien.
I bet he remembers you now from that
Yeah, it's
last time.
Damien Hill. Yeah.
Damien Hill. You know what? If I do the streams now, talk about Hill, I'll probably say Damien now, thanks to you on that
Yeah.
one. So I'll just put
Hemman Hill.
Hyman Hill. Oh my God.
Tim Henman.
Hedman Hill. Damien Hill. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what? This guy's a legend on that one. Oh, Stephen, switching the question round, he says, which two bad drivers would you pick together for a team? Two drivers, bad drivers.
The Lola team from 1997, Ricardo Rosset and Sospiro Rossi. Rosset.
Yeah, yeah. I remember
When he
him.
raced for Tyrrell,
Yeah.
because he crashed all the time, his mechanics in the pit lane put the T in the R the other way around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you imagine what that said, can't you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're all saying on live on that one, but that's but,
Yeah,
bloody
yeah, that's
hell.
what they did. Yeah, like on the back of the car in the wing,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just said Rosset because they weren't allowed sponsors in Monaco or something, and they just put the T in the R the other way around.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they were sick of him crashing the car and having to fix it.
Maldonado should be one because he always kept crashing. Even though he won that one solitary race at Spain
Mm,
with the
yeah,
Williams, I've never seen him so happy. But I've never seen him so happy like those memes of him afterwards where he just kept like it's like are you Maldonado in disguise with
yeah, I didn't like him. Yeah, I thought it was horrible.
he was not he was one of those drivers where you just want to you don't get on with. I could have said something
No,
else, but not with the stream and stuff. But
didn't deserve to be in a Williams, though, did he?
Williams was struggling at the. What I say struggling? They were.
Yeah,
They were.
just needed money, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. And Maldonado had the money. It's like for me, like Maldonado, and I never liked, and I will say this now, I never liked Ericsson. From the Sauber team at the
Oh
time.
yeah, I just know about him. I didn't like either. I don't know what it was, but yeah,
Apparent
no, I completely agree.
it. Mike says Maldonado and somebody equal bad, and Gareth says Maldonado and Delitres. Uh,
Oh, Diniz, Pedro Diniz, that's what you're saying. Pedro Diniz, Brazilian pay
Deli.
driver from the late 90s.
Oh, okay. Late 90s. Oh, yeah, okay. I don't remember it. This is what I mean. It's like the bad drivers you just don't
He was
remember.
teammates with Hill. He was teammates with Hill in the Arrows in '97.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah, I
paid
know.
for Hill's contract pretty much.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Arrows
See,
Yamaha.
See, this guy knows everything of everyone back in the day. So if you ask him, he'll know everything. He'll be like, "Can I have Damien Hill's contract on that one?" So, but
Damien Hill.
yeah, it's just this guy's legend. Have that one. Oh, Steven says Bruno Senna and Taki Ino and
Oh, Taki Inoue,
yeah.
famous in '95 Hungarian Grand Prix. No, maybe '94, where his car caught fire. He went to get a fire extinguisher, and the safety car parked up, and it knocked him into the air. So he got run over by a safety car.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know what he does now? On Twitter, you can buy pictures of him getting knocked in the air by the safety car, and he signs them and he sends them to you.
Oh dear.
Mm.
Uh, oh, what was it? Oh, Gareth says Lewis Deletris or Deletris' dad. Look him up. He was awful. Although Denise was a real paid driver. Good evening to Scott. He says Gio Fanardi. Gio Fanardi. I can't pronounce it. Sorry. Mike says, yeah, Denise was bad. Uh, and that was his.
Denise.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
it's like diddy,
Yeah.
dimmy, and hill.
Yeah.
You see,
You're a Williams fan, though, aren't you, Mal?
what's that? Sorry,
You're a Williams fan.
I do because I want to see him succeed when they did it back
Yeah.
in like from what like I said, I vaguely remember some of the F1 races like Mansell when he won it in '92 on his last
Yeah.
ever season. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You know what we have
uh,
to do? We have to do, you know, when we're both at Silverstone this year, we'll have to
yes.
do a podcast from the track or like a 2 minute video or something like that, just talking.
A 2 minute podcast like and there goes Damien Hill
Yeah.
going around Stell Corner.
But a drunk podcast.
Oh God, we won't
Yeah.
remember it next time on that one. Like beeping
Yeah.
L on that one. Uh,
Beep, 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 beep.
beep 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 beep. Mike says, "You guys, you think it's now the time for a female driver who gets a chance for a full season? I know there have been a few, but if I am not, what do you think about that? Do you think female drivers should have the opportunity to race in F1?
Um,
In
Absolutely. This is where this is where equality and common sense can get a bit blurred. I agree that a woman should be able to race in Formula One
yeah,
if she's fast enough. If she's fast enough, competitive, and she can last the whole season, many seasons like a normal career, absolutely. But don't just put a woman into Formula One just to
for the
square it
sake of
out,
it.
just to say exactly. Like you got female jockeys, but they're good female jockeys. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They don't just put all the jockeys. They don't just put all the female jockeys in a woman's only race. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
They mix the two, and I completely agree that that's what Formula One should be doing. And I think it is almost there's such thing as positive discrimination, but then you've got this women's series now.
yeah.
Um, I don't remember seeing a series called the Man Series.
No,
So there's positive discrimination and there's discrimination. If the women are quick enough, absolutely, without a doubt.
definitely. Scott says to Queenie from the Bad Drivers, I believe. Oh, Stephen says,
Gabriella Tarquini.
yeah. Stephen says Susie Wolf should have got a chance. Mike says Toto would come under fire. Mike again says Danica Patrick had a
Danica
great career.
Patrick, yeah.
Had a great
Indy
career.
500.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Steve says Carmen Jorda. Now, I would agree with
No,
Carmen.
she's just pretty on the eye. She's not much in the cockpit. She's just pretty on the
Uh,
eye.
I don't know what you're saying there, Tom, but I don't know what you're saying. But yeah, Carmen Jorda for me would
Oh, she
definitely
could be in
join.
my garage any day. She could be one of my drivers. Her and Senna, they're my two drivers.
Okay. Okay, this might go a bit too far on some occasions on that
No,
one,
no,
but
she's very talented.
yeah, she is definitely talented, and definitely, and I don't know what to say next. But Gareth says, look at Danica's record. Well, she was so average, but rode the wave of being a female trailblazer. Stephen says, lol, Tom, I agree with comment order and stuff. But yeah, I do agree that we should have the female drivers make it equal because this is where it's just like it's like with
Hmm.
the equality stuff is not there, and it's like a not saying it's a man sport, but it kind of looks like it when it's not helping the equality of everyone. You know what I mean? And you have to be fair. And I would love to see a female driver. As long as you said, as long as they're competitive and they're quick or equal with the drivers that like the current F1 drivers, then yeah, I would agree. Um,
Absolutely.
but okay, we was on about female drivers and stuff. What classic track that's not in the calendar anymore that you would love to see again? You could
Right.
have you could have
Yeah,
three.
on the game or racing or.
I mean, in the game that used to have classic tracks back in 2013, like
Mhm.
I can't say. I was going to say Imola. You know, the yeah,
Mhm.
Juarez or Jerez, whatever you call it.
Or
Uh,
Jerez.
Jerez, yeah, Juarez or Jerez. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
But also
Suarez.
Suarez next. See, it's like El Rouge, like Eau Rouge, El Rouge,
Yeah.
hey, El
Yeah.
Rouge.
Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, I see. I could have said that at the stream
Yeah.
and stuff, but
Yeah. Up Moulin Rouge.
Mike would not be happy with that with the Belgian
Uh,
traveller.
no,
Uh,
don't call it that.
oh, this podcast
Oh,
is just
I love
legend.
Mike, and I love Mike. I love it when he talks. He's like just the voice of a James Bond villain. So, Mr. Bond, you want to go Moulin Rouge, eh? No, my three tracks I'd like to bring back are Nürburgring, because I thought that was a great track to race around.
Really?
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, no, on the that's me on the game because I missed that on the game.
Okay.
Uh, Another one that I liked on the game was Valencia. That was good.
Yes, yes, I agree with that one.
Another one
Bites the dust.
would no would probably steady night would probably be the original Silverstone layout. But if we're going on to real life tracks, I'd like to see brought back.
Yeah. Turkey,
Gosh,
would you say?
uh, possibly. I'll take that as one because I didn't mind that. The old French one, manicures.
Yeah.
Um, Nürburgring, and I'd have to say Donington. Give us Donington back. Yeah, go on. We used to have two British Grand Prix in a season until '93, so yeah, we'll have another one.
Okay.
Used to have Silverstone as the British Grand Prix, and Donington used to be classed as the European Grand Prix. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, oh, Steven says, oh, old Hockenheim circuit, Malaysia, and the old track in USA with half the track speedway, and the infield. I forgot the name of it. It was in the 90s.
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, yeah. It was.
Oh, original Hockenheim. Maybe just if you like the trees and want a picnic. I didn't like Malaysia. I didn't like Malaysia at all. I thought that was horrible. It was, you could tell it was a bike layout. It was a wide track. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that. I think my best ever position there was like ninth or eighth or something like that, and I think I was ninth out of nine. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And like I said, some of the guys said Indianapolis, Jerez, Juarez with the Suarez next.
Luis Suarez.
Yeah. Mike says Imola should come back too, but I think personally, even though everyone would love to go back to Imola, I don't think we would do it because of what happened with Senna at the time, and I don't think is it best for the F1 track? Would you say?
Imola.
Yeah.
It was funny actually. You talk about Imola because Imola a few years ago was signed up to be the Italian Grand Prix again.
Okay.
Because they couldn't agree a fee on Monza, but Monza eventually pulled the finger out and they didn't go back to Imola in the end. But Imola's completely changed. They don't have the final and the first chicane anymore. It's just a straight through
Oh,
long
really?
straight. Don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, so it looks a bit different to what we remember. But it wasn't really, excuse me, it wasn't really that much of an entertaining track though, to be fair, Imola.
Oh, okay.
I don't. If you think about it, there's not really many famous San Marino races you can think of, apart from the obvious '94 one where unfortunately Senna died. But apart from that, it wasn't really a race that gave you memories. Like now, for instance, if Imola was still on the calendar,
Yeah.
I think you'd look at that, like the French Grand Prix, like, oh, God, another boring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just. I know what you mean. It's just you don't get that. You need some excitement back, and that's what's
Yeah,
happened.
you can't just bring something back for the sake of it, you know what I mean?
No, but it's just it. It's like bringing back an old game show or TV series. You're never going to bring
Yeah.
it back because of the relive of what happened in the past. It's never always going to be like that.
Play your cards right with Malc.
Thanks, Tom, for that one. But
Yeah.
cheers. Oh,
It'd
cheers.
be like Wolves won it. Higher than a seven?
Um, okay. Right. This rivalry is going to kick off soon on that one,
The
but yeah,
feud.
excuse
No, the
on that,
feud.
not the feud on
Yeah.
that one,
Yeah.
but not the feud. Right. So, but yeah, it's like some of the classic tracks that we've. I mean, whichever. If you was co-masters now, yeah,
hmm
they should fix everything. But say the tracks, what would you say as you would bring back in the game, like properly, if you had a downloadable track, shall we
All
say?
right. We'll put it this way. Let's go devil's advocate and let's say I am Codemasters, right? Let's just say you look at the content Project Cars have managed to bring to their games. I'd get rid of the pointless stuff, like the formation lap, the podium at the end, um, the needless amount of faces and heads they have. Um, I'd like to see them try to bring in another class of car, like the F2, make it online playable as well. I like for a career, like you know, like the current career mode, it's where like, oh, Malcolm Argyle, welcome to Ferrari. Well, that wouldn't happen in the real life. You know, Ferrari notoriously don't take on rookies. I know they've obviously took on Charles Leclerc for his second season, but you know, add a bit of realism to coming through. You know, like a bit like Project Cars does. But not only that, add a
Yeah,
concept where um, Career 2 or Career 3 or Career 4, you know, like the next few years, where the cars can at least change a bit of colour. Uh, your race engine, you know, your race engineer.
yes,
How good would it be if you race for Ferrari and your race engineer is like you know like they are so Malc, we need to beat in 2 laps. You know what I mean? So they talk like that.
it's not like the
Or you get
same.
yeah, not the same person. You know, like hello, I'm Jeff. I'm your Ferrari engineer. Well, that just won't happen. You know what I mean? Like hello, it's me, Giuseppe. I go to guide you through the race today. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Add a bit of realism, or you know, like when you're at for Williams, you know, Claire Williams comes on the radio. Oh, congratulations, Malc. We've got your hot cross bun in the oven for when you come back into the garage. You know, I mean, just get the real people doing just get the real people doing the team radio, and
Yeah.
maybe you know, I mean, me personally, I don't really play career mode, and I think it's because it's a bit boring. Like you, and like obviously the majority of people, I prefer the online. I'd like to see him get safety car right. I'd love to see him get the safety car right just once. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, Stephen says, I agree, Tom. Sorry, I agree, Tom. The career should start from F3 to F1, but it's all about licensing laws, probably. Yeah, with the game itself, it's because of the licensing stuff, and yeah, as much some, it's like, oh, we would love to have extra boosts or extra stuff that added in, just to add some spice into the game stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone would
We
love.
don't even have the sponsors. Just have playing cars. You know.
Or, as I said earlier, you could have your own custom team and you wanted. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Tom
So,
Wright Racing,
yeah,
powered by Mercedes.
yeah. Yeah, you could do it like that. It'd be like, yeah, you could have your own name sponsored across, and you'd be like, oh,
That's it.
yeah, you could have your own, like, you know, I don't know, whatever you want it to be called and stuff. But
Yeah.
like I said, if with that, it's like, yeah, I wish they'd do the pit stuff as well. For me, I would love to see. When you go into the qualifying, you have
hmm
to go back into the garage. Why don't they go into the, like, you know how some of the real F1 drivers where they don't actually
Oh,
go
I know
into
what
the
you mean.
garage, they just
Yeah,
they just only change the tyres or add fuel and then go out straight away rather than going
no,
back in.
yeah.
Uh, like I said,
What?
there should be like an
That's
extra option. Sorry.
I like that. No, I've got one more on that. You know, like they have free job qualifying.
Yeah,
I know it's gonna be hard when we race 8 o'clock and it's like a 20-minute session. What if they did it where it was like you get 6 minutes for Q1, 6 minutes for Q2, and you get like a 10-minute shootout for Q3? I think that'd be a good one.
I think
It'd be
that
good for you to commentate on, wouldn't it?
it would, but obviously if that worked out well in the like in the online stuff, I think it, yeah. But the problem is, like, say you got knocked out on the first round, you have to wait like another half an hour or so
Mm,
to watch out to find out what's going on, and then by the time that's finished, you got to do another 45 minutes of racing or 50% or maybe 100%, depending on what happens. It's like, and what happens if you've got disconnections? What happens if someone does this? There's so many. It's like good ideas there, but at the same time, it's
mm.
like the
So
most
many
disadvantage.
variables.
Yeah, whenever there's a good, there's always two bad. It's like it just can't work
Hmm.
out well.
One step forward, two back.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's probably what happens in some cases as well. Mike says it's just a waste of time waiting to be pushed into the. Yeah, if they're trying to match it to what they do in the garage and stuff. Steven says I would like a commentator back for the races and Jeff also. How do you mean by that, Steven? Um, so just getting Steven's answer. What do you mean by I would like a commentator back for the races and Jeff also? Um, but yeah, it's like with the races itself, that
Yeah,
with some, if you had to add extras to the F1, like you said with the career mode of F2, and
yeah.
like for me, custom drivers, custom teams, what would you do? What else would you improve, or what would you like to add or see in the game in the near future?
Also, you know, like the qualifying where they give you three sets of the softer tyre,
Yes,
more sets of them. You know, like the medium one. So you can only get the one set, don't you, in the qualifying? Like more sets of that. Um,
it depends on the
the thing
setting
is,
as well.
yeah, that's true. There's so many things you could change. Like when you do like a restarted grid, you can pick the tyre wear of the people because some people they might play it on purpose where they crash the car, disconnect from the session, and then you need to set another lobby up for them. But the tyres are back to being fresh. You know, things like that. You know, it's there's so much they could do to change. I mean, it'd be interesting what happens once they get rid of the license because when Codemasters lose the license, all these people who've made up a reputation and a career from playing this game and you know esports and all that bollocks. Oh, sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
We do
and all that
apologise.
rubbish.
We do
Yeah,
apologise
they'll
for
have to
any swearing.
change. Sorry. Well, it's not really a swear word, is it? They'll have to change to playing it. Say if EA Sports made one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It totally completely changed the dynamic of that. And I do sincerely apologise. I got too comfortable there. Sorry.
it's all right. I think I did put explicit anyway on the podcast stuff anyway, so
No,
don't
I
worry.
hope you have, because this is a waste of 46 minutes if you
Yeah,
don't.
that's true. No, I do agree with you, mate. To be honest, it's just you just want more action and more stuff. And with the
Yeah,
esports, it's like you join an esports team that's in like on Twitter or like any other league stuff, and you're like,
yeah,
we're gonna join an esports. Okay, what's your goal? Where's your end product? Are you gonna be famous afterwards? No. So
exactly that.
you know what I mean? It's like you want to waste your good talent. Not no offense to some of the guys, like with the guys who are on the actual F1 esports, the actual esports, when they do the
Mhm.
live stuff, they're really good. To be fair, from what I've seen on some of the drivers, but to me, it's like if you just started out brand new and you just joined the crew from, to join the esports, it's going to be a bit difficult for you at the minute
Yeah,
unless you've got like a massive backing and you know people from the F1 careers, then I would say for me, yeah, it's like a publicity not publicity stunt, but it's like I want to see you do more esports stuff. And like, okay, I'm not gonna get quick, but it's the consistency that matters or personality.
Hmm.
Like, okay, it's like, would you ever, if would you ever gone to the actual stage if you was younger back then?
It depends. I mean, obviously when we were when we were like 24, 25 when we started at Malc, it was I think the whole online gaming phenomenon was still quite small. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember before I started racing, I played a game called Counter-Strike, and I played for the UK in a tournament in 2003, and one of the players who I played with is now a TV presenter
Oh, really?
on yeah, he presents on ESL. So it just shows the difference. Like he's obviously stuck with it, where I used to get my parents telling me not to like to get off. But
Yeah.
and then that's when I switched to console gaming. Then after that,
Do you miss it in
uh,
or not? As
what?
in, like missing Counter Strike back then? Would you have
Oh
carried
yeah,
on
without a doubt. I missed the community because you had so many good clans and um, good leagues and what have you. I
clans?
mean,
I know that in
yeah,
ages.
the thing that was really good about that was that I was only like 16, 17 at the time, and what it was it was a bit of like things you get added to your CV now, and I think this is where online gaming gets a bad rap because you learn to communicate, um, you work as a team,
Yeah,
you're getting work experience, you're making things like like tactics and what have you, and you're developing your interaction skills, and then you get that generation now where like Fortnite and things like that,
yeah,
where it's almost as if parents are using the computers as a babysitter. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I know what you mean.
You go to your room and just play on Fortnite. You know what I mean? That kind of. And then they get worried when the kid develops an addiction. Well, you've allowed your child to play in it for hours and hours. If I've got any regrets, it's that I didn't stick it as much as I should. I mean, I remember the lad I'm talking about, Banksy's called. He's an ESL presenter, and we used to
Yeah,
be part of the team. We used to run around together and what have you. And he stuck with it. He went to all these like I Series lands and became a presenter and things. And yeah, people take different directions. I started to concentrate on my professional career and be an engineer. Then he obviously followed the route of esports. It's worked out well for him now because he flies around the world presenting. So kudos to
yeah,
him. But back to the original point. Uh, when we first started gaming on Formula One, it was just a normal game. I think what's happened is you get a lot of bad people involved now who will exploit people. They'll use it for their own gains. They're not necessarily um, into the idea of giving back. They're more of take, take, take. I mean, you look at people now who are sponsored by sugary drinks, like hype energy,
yeah,
like, what kind of message is that sending out when you've got 12 to 15-year-olds racing in leagues and they're sponsored by like energy drinks, you
yeah.
know?
It's
So,
it's like back in the '90s where remember Benson and Hedges, the Jordan team. It's like you're promoting cigarettes. How's that good to the kids that watching it? Like, oh, I remember that Benson and Hedges. Is that a good thing? But oh, that's a bad thing. It's like cigarette, like Marlboro from the McLaren team back in the day,
hmm.
and other stuff as well. It's just it depends on the sponsorship as well and what.
What's happening now, Malc?
Yeah,
McLaren with their sponsor, A Better Tomorrow.
yeah,
That's that's a vape company. That
oh,
Mission Winnow on the Ferraris?
yeah.
That's the Marlboro company. So they're advertising vaping. How does vaping get you a better tomorrow? It's all it's all nonsense. There, I
Yeah,
used a better word this time.
that's better on that one. But yeah, oh, Steven says he was on about the commentary, bring back commentary. He says bring back like Murray Walker back for like as a commentator, like he did in the classic one in 2013, but as like a racer
Yeah.
in there, replacing Crofty and Brundle. He says, he says, think the F1 Game Twitter page is listening to us tonight. As the question on their page is what car livery is best for 2019. So that's just minds on that one. So fair play. Mike
Mm.
says, yeah, agree with Tom. Good thinking from Tom. So
What does
yeah,
he agree with me? What does he agree with me on? He doesn't specify, does
I think he was on about like, like all the
he? Everything.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I'll get Mike to clarify what was you on about when you was agreeing with Tom, Mike.
Yeah.
Uh,
Put
the
the put
the
the beer
spon
down, Mike, and clarify.
yeah, the sponsoring stuff. He's just said the sponsoring stuff and energy drinks, like,
Ah,
it,
cheers, mate.
it's just like, oh, I'll just promote a better tomorrow by vaping.
Yeah, it's just exploiting.
Yeah, it's shocking, but it's like it's like, oh, I'll just sponsor this and just get the money. That's all it matters now these
Yeah,
days.
sell out.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, I don't know who they are, but it's just like, yeah, I'll try it.
It's money.
Yeah, and it's okay. As we're on about money, do you think the money today? Do you? Oh, actually, sorry, forget the money. Do you think? Do you think there should be a fixed engine on like a
A budget cap, you mean?
yeah, like a budget. Sorry, that's what I was after. A budget cap in
Yeah, but
F1.
it won't happen. I absolutely think it'll happen because it'll. What'll happen there is that you'll find the smaller teams will be able to compete. But here's the thing: another thing that annoys me about Formula One is that this won't happen. And I'll tell you why it won't happen. Right? I, you might need a piece of paper for this, and you can you want. Mercedes, Mercedes are in Formula One as a brand, right?
Yeah,
They want to sell Mercedes road cars, right? So they pump millions into their team, right? If
yeah.
Mercedes are constantly winning, they're everywhere, aren't they?
Well, yeah, pretty
Right? So if
much.
Mercedes are always winning, the Honda are always packing up at the back, what car do you want to buy in real life?
Mercedes at the minute.
Exactly. Another point is Ferrari. Ferrari's a funny one. I mean, they're obviously the longest lasting team, but they've played themselves into a very powerful hand because no matter where they finish in Formula One, they will always get a guaranteed 150 million a season. They could finish 10th. I put it this way, Force India could win the World Championship 4 times in a row, and Ferrari would still get more money than them
Pretty
because
much.
they've got a position where. So what you've got a monopoly where you've got the Ferrari and the Mercedes, who are effectively one team, right?
Yeah,
Because they're up front, they're dominating, they're throwing endless amount of money at development. They're also works teams, so they've also got their own in-house engine. You then got Red Bull, who they've got a bit of money themselves, but now they've got an exclusive engine deal with Honda. So once Honda get up to speed, the front three are just going to go further ahead. Unfortunately, with Formula One now and the money situation, is that you're getting like teams like Haas, Sauber, to a point now Williams, who are reliant on teams above them. Williams are reliant on Mercedes because Toto Wolff used to be the Mercedes chief. Toto Wolff used to be the Williams chief executive. So what does he do now? He gives Williams a cheap Mercedes deal. He also gives them uh, George Russell, right? So they're effectively a Mercedes B team, which they are. And then you've got the Force India. They rely heavily on Mercedes. Well, they did anyway with Ocon and a cheap Mercedes deal. Put it this way, you know when Ocon refused to get out of the way for Verstappen,
yeah.
he wouldn't do that to Hamilton, would he? So
No.
what you're doing, you're getting teams within teams now. So your only true independent teams are Williams and McLaren. The rest
Well,
are all in each other's pockets. Do you know what I mean? Toro Rosso, Red Bull. Toro Rosso won't battle Red Bull on track, right? Um, a Haas won't battle a Ferrari on track because a Haas is made out of Ferrari parts. They've got a Ferrari engine. A Sauber and Alfa Romeo that won't battle a Ferrari on track because they're effectively now the Ferrari B team. It's
yeah.
it's getting a bit. What's happened now though is you're getting it like I don't know if you've ever followed Le Mans, Malc, where you've got LMP1, which are like the hybrid fast cars. Then you've got LMP2, then you've got the GT cars. You've effectively got three championships in Formula One now. You've got the A Championship, which is Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. Then you've got the rest. Now, it is don't get me wrong, you've got 10 teams, right?
Yeah,
But they're not competing with each other. They're only competing with a set amount of cars. It's wrong, but I am a consumer. I'm still a fan of it, and I want to
yeah.
see McLaren end up coming back again. But it's a hell of a long way off because you need to be a works team to compete in Formula One nowadays. And
Well,
McLaren have
yeah,
defaulted that by becoming powered by Renault.
yeah.
That's my rant, anyway. No, if there was a budget cap, this wouldn't happen. But you'll never see a budget cap in Formula One because the powerful teams have too much power.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Would agree with you on that one. To be fair, because I would look. Say everyone needs to be, as we said, equal stuff, but it's like it's like seeing the lower sides not getting advantage of being at the top for once. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
just the advantage stuff. You know what I mean? Like if they've got the money, fair enough. That's their goodness. But
Hmm.
Gareth said we was on about the marketing stuff earlier, like the vaping. He said it's clever marketing. If you smoke 20, 30 a day, in theory, a vape is a better tomorrow. He says, I don't agree with it, but it's smart work from the tobacco marketing companies. But yeah, I do agree with that one, Gareth. And he said, Tom, would you be an advocate of three car teams if the third car had to be a rookie less than 2 seasons experience?
Um, no, because you're throwing the rookie into just as competitive a car. If you're going to go for three car teams, you have to have three competitive drivers. So, say for instance, Mercedes, they could have Ocon as their third driver. Ferrari would be able to have someone like Raikkonen as there. But if you're going to have three car teams, they've got to be competitive drivers. Like now, but with just three cars per team. That'd be my only my only qualm about it. I do understand the argument of putting rookies into the third car, but then you get to the point where you're only putting them in because you want the grid to be fuller. And if it does get to that point, Formula One's going completely in the wrong direction, from my opinion.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, they did talk about it before, like I think it was the Red Bull car originally, and then they said, oh, let's have all the top teams to have a third car, and like whoever sat the
Mm.
lowest would deduct. And you were like, this is going to get confusing and stuff. And to me, yeah, it'd be good to have like three car teams, but it's not gonna. It's good for like everyone, but I don't know if it's gonna work out for the best for everyone because it's like imagine imagine the Williams if they didn't have the Mercedes power or like
Yeah.
or the backing and stuff like with the aero dynamics as well. It's just it's different. But
One thing that I would like him to do, Malc,
yeah,
is to have one race a season where the cars were allowed to use a classic livery. You know, like a bit like NFL where they wear um,
All
a
Star.
kit from. Yeah, no. Where in NFL, say for instance, there's a game next weekend, they'll make that retro weekend where you wear a kit from like 10, 15 years ago. It'd be good if Formula One did that where, say, the British Grand Prix this year, they're going to go back to the 90s. So Ferrari
Okay.
have got to use a 90s livery, McLaren have got to use a 90s livery, Williams have got to use a Williams livery. Just
Yeah.
for, just to change it up, just to add a bit of things. I think that'd be an interesting concept.
Okay. Okay. That would be good. But
Hmm.
again, it'd be like bringing it back the old liveries with the old sponsors. Would they replace it with the new sponsors? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit messy. But I mean, like I said, we'd love to see some of the old liveries back and stuff, and I think it would be great. But if you're still in the chat, guys, what's your thoughts of three car teams? Do you think that would work out? Do you think it would not? And other stuff. But if you're still listening to us, we're still doing the Invictus Racing League podcast, Inside Track podcast, with Tej, aka Tom, as a special guest tonight. We're hitting up to the hour mark now.
Yep.
So, and it's an interesting fact from yourself, Tom. And it's like, of all the years that you've raced on, got before we go to the leagues and stuff. I know you haven't been on all the other leagues, as in the Invictus ones, but I'll
Hmm.
do a bit of a catch up a little bit one of the pre-season one. But what was your best ever race win? at Invictus, your best ever win.
That'd be Bahrain in performance last season. Um, because I got knocked off at the start. And I know I was in the Mercedes, but I got knocked back right to the back, and I had to come through the field,
Yeah,
and I had a good battle with what's it called? Skyzy?
Mr. Skyzy. Yeah.
Mr. Skyzy. Yeah, I had a good battle with him, and ended up he was in the south. I ended up overtaking him, and ended up excuse me, ended up running and hiding and taking the win. That's probably the best win. The best race was probably 2 seasons ago. Was it 2 seasons ago? No, about
At
3 seasons
performance.
ago. No, yeah, in performance. 3 seasons ago in performance when I was in the Ferrari with Never Miss, and I got knocked off at the start. I had to replace my wing. I ended up coming through and finishing fifth. That was at Silverstone. But I hope we can. I hope I can do better this year or this season.
Yeah. Well, since you mentioned about this season, I mean, I know this last season, um, you had a bit of on and off, like struggles with like the points and stuff. But with this
Hmm.
season, do you think you've got a good chance of doing well in F3 overall?
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I do. I think last season started out alright for me. I think I could have won Australia. I was fastest in qualifying. I just didn't get. I just didn't use all my fuel. So I used all my fuel when I was coming to the line. So I ended up starting fourth,
Oh, okay.
and I finished fourth. Bahrain, I was running quite well there again, and unfortunately myself and Gareth had a bit of a racing incident. Um, the thing is, last season, I don't know, it felt a bit stale. I was, I was bored of being in the Ferrari. And don't get me wrong, I've got a great relationship with Gregor, as I've, yourself, previous years have always been teammates, and
Yeah.
it just felt a bit stale. I don't know why. We just didn't have the click as we had in previous years, and
With a click to
obviously
click
not.
with a
Yeah,
66.
not to not to Craig's fault, but more to my own, where you know I was struggling to
You
get
don't
up,
have to
and
say.
I'm
You don't have to
no,
say.
I was looking. No, I'll be honest. I was looking at the performances, and and I thought, well, I might as well have a season out. But then I think I qualified in the front row in Singapore, and I was like, there's something still here, and I think looking ahead to next season, where I look at the grid now, it's a competitive grid, even though we've lost quite a few, like Spud and uh, Jamie. I look at the grid now, and I've got a chance now with Williams. I feel
Yeah.
fresh. I feel pumped. I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Obviously, I've got Gareth alongside me. I think me and Gareth can be a strong team. There's a lot. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of strong drivers.
A
What you've
lot.
lost,
A
yeah.
lot.
What you've lost last season in the four
Yeah.
drivers going up is that you've now got a more condensed um, quality of driver, which means it's going to be even harder to break through because it is. I mean, you got you've got people like Snoop Markey, who's a very solid driver. Al Sabatino, I
Yeah.
mean, I've known Al for a few years now, and he's come on leaps and bounds. I mean, Al used to say to me, Tej, I'm struggling, I might give up and what have you, but to his credit, he's come really good. You've got another one, Notorious, the Sleeping Giant. He's traditionally always been very, very quick. Bouge, he's going to come on next season, and obviously another big name, Brennan's. But then the biggest one for me is the improvement of Fastcone over this last season. I know he missed a
Yeah.
few races. I won't say why. It's not my business. But then you've got Mike, who me and Mike have raced each other for 4 or 5 years now. And I'll be
Yeah.
honest, and I think Mike would as well. Traditionally, I've always been quicker than him, which I have. You know what I mean? Not a bit like with me and you used to race. Being you were used to race, so you'd be faster than me, I'd be faster than you. But traditionally, I think I was always faster than Mike. Now the tables have turned. He's going to be faster than me, and I believe he's no assist for this season. But I still consider him to be the one to look at. I think, yeah, I think he
Okay.
can win the championship. I think if Mike wins a race early doors, I think he'll win the championship because he'll get confident there, and I think the Ferraris are going to be right up there for the championship. But you can't write off. There's so many drivers you can't write off Clyde. You don't know what he can do on a good day. Um, Dan, Stephen, Nitro Gas, he's changed to a wheel. He's proven. So yeah, it's a very full and interesting grid, and I'm pretty sure that me and Gareth we're gonna bring our best game once the season comes.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
yeah,
but like I said, with the teams and the drivers, I mean, you got in the Ferrari, you got Mike and Vasco, and as you said, just you got McLaren, the reigning champions, McLaren of F1, Richard and Ferocious Dan. In the Sauber, you got Snoop Markey and Steele, Williams, yourself, and captain. Renault, you got Bougie and Cola. In the Haas, you got the Willow and Eat White Eagle. Mercedes, you got Sab and BW Clyde. Force Indy, you got O'Stephen and Notorious. Red Bull, you got Brennans and Nitrogash. And Toro Rosso, you got Manunoi Jono and D-Boy Dan. Now, when I look at that, some of the drivers who I've known for many years will be thinking, oh, can they do it? Can they actually win? That this is the chance to win a title for them. Like for yourself, Tom, it's like I would like to see the old gods. I know I keep saying old god to you, like old veteran, and you probably hate me saying that every time, but
no,
just
not at all.
with the old veteran yourself, I would like to see you win. I'd like to see you win the title for once. I've seen you win races, I've seen you qualifying, but can you actually win the actual the title in this season? That's is. Would you say? Would you say the drivers is a bit too much, or do you reckon the constructors is your aim this season?
Um, I don't know. It depends. I mean,
It's hard to say, I know, but
no, no.
it's
I think if I was to really, really put it in and try and hit the ground running, I think I could turn up and uh, do some good, good, some good points and good finishes. Like every driver, I'm gonna aim to win each and every race. But my only issue is probably the consistency. When I look at the calendar, I'm already looking at tracks where I'm not solid at. And first race up, I know it's Bahrain, and I know I run well at Bahrain, so I'm looking at that and thinking, could I get a podium? Could I get fourth? And it's going to be, you're going to have a compact field, so it's going to be whoever manages the races the best. And I think whoever gets the most points in the first 4 or 5 races, I think they're going to be your championship winner.
yeah. Because I mean, you got obviously the calendar was mentioned. I think it was last week or the week before with the with the live streaming of the drivers and teams as well with Craig. But with
Yeah.
Bahrain being the first one, and then Spain, and then Japan, is there tracks that this season where you think, right, this is where I should get an advantage here, or this is where a track where I should not get advantage, or is that too, or do you not want to say?
Um, I think I'm quite strong at all 3 tracks, all 3 opening tracks. I think my first tricky one is possibly going to be Austria round 4.
Yes, Austria round four.
Yeah, even though I've qualified third last season in the pre-season, I think that's quite a tricky one for me. But I mean, I think I could be there or thereabouts. I'm pretty sure me and Gareth are going to be fired up. I mean, if you're on about drivers who've improved most over the years, you'd have to say Gareth. I mean, there's
Yeah,
there's no
I
number
agree.
one, there's no number two. We're going in with a equal status, and I think we'll work well together. We'll communicate during the race, and obviously we used to commentate on the no assist, so we've got a good bit of chemistry and rapport there. So yeah, I'll turn the table now, Mark. Who do you think is going to be in the running for the drivers and constructors?
For F3 this season.
Mm, yeah,
Oh, that's a tough one
it is,
because
isn't it?
because there's some drivers like I mean you got Snoop Markey who's like an outsider for me personally because on his day can be very good, on your day
Hmm.
can be very good. Gareth, in my personal opinion, he's improved because when he was started at the back and he's now challenging for like at least top five. So for me personally, I expect him to get top five. Um, Beater Clyde, I don't know, on his day can be good. There's times where he felt like, I don't know whether it just depends on the driver, the drivers on the season, because like BW Clyde is quick, and I would expect him not. I'm not saying he's like deadly quick because he would be an F1, but with Clyde, I would say he needs to get into the top half. Um,
Yeah.
but if you're on about who should be winning title, see, I would say about three people from what I'm looking at now. Ferocious
Right.
Dan, Bougie, oh actually sorry, four, Snoop Market and the Willow. Those four. Now you probably think, oh, where's me on this one? Um, now, to be honest, I needed you to improve, and I think you will improve this season. I hope you prove me wrong, as in get to the title, which I wanted to do for the last 10 years or so, 11 years, sorry. You know what I mean? That's what I like to see you winning. Like, I've seen Spud winning the first ever world title for so
Yeah.
long. Um, and it's like a Murray Walker moment back in when Damien Hill, as you pronounce it, in
Damien.
Japan. In Japan, it's just a lump in my throat moment on that one. But
Yeah.
that's what I like to see, and now I would like to see you doing that in in the F3 or whatever league that you're doing. You know what I mean? That's it's like I like
Yeah.
to see the old drivers. Right.
Do
Who
well.
do well. Not, I would never say anything like, "Oh, he's rubbish. He should drop." You know what I mean? I don't never do that. It's like I say to it's like like I said to Stephen and Fasconi before. I said I don't think they'll do well because of the past
Yeah.
experiences. And look at them now. Last season they told me to
Shove
yeah
it.
yeah
Like,
um
you're wrong, Malc. Let me shove your words down your throat. That's what they were like, weren't they? They're like, no, we're going to show you.
yeah pretty much and fair dues on that one. And I hope they do. I hope they exceed very well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what I'd like to say. I won't be doing too much on the podcast, so I'll be doing it as quickly as possible. But I was going to go through all the pre-season one races, but I'm going to do all that next week with my next podcast next week, um,
Okay.
with pre-seasons 1 and 2 before we do the actual live ones next week, like the following week, which is the actual season 2 of 2018, but season 7 of Invictus. But yeah, it's like if I said to you now, Tom, I don't think you'd do well. You'll tell me, right? I'm going to prove this bugger where I am, and I reckon I'll get in the top four at least.
Well, I'll try.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
I think that's what spurned the some of the drivers, and that's what I like to see. Prove the doubter wrong, and
Yeah.
that's what happened. Because if that's what happens anyway on that one. But Gareth says Bougie and Richard and Dan, I'd say, are the top three this season. Who would you say your top three would do, or top four? Who would you
Me?
think? In any particular order?
I'm not going to say championship order, but I think you're looking at both the Ferraris,
Okay,
Fascon and Mike,
okay.
and it's going to be a coin toss, but I'd like to see yeah, I'd like to see Clyde, because Clyde's good. Clyde's no, yeah, Clyde or Reynolds, because I know they're good.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see them challenging for the top four at least, but it's going to be tough, especially when I saw them three, Bougie, Richard, and Datton, and Snoop Markey and the Willow in USA in the pre-season race one. They were really good on their day, and you know what I mean. It's just they just need to balance that. Mike says maybe it's time to turn the assist back on. Lol.
No, 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 no,
uh,
no, 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 no,
Mike,
no, no.
can you imagine Mike lapping everyone now? Oh, sorry,
I
I just
know.
got the assist back on. No, the assist off.
Yeah,
That's it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I really have enjoyed the podcast with you, Tom, because it's good to know, like from the past of like how you started off with the F1, how you got to the online leagues, etc. how I've known
Hmm.
you for like decades. You know what I mean? Um, and seeing the F1 community grow. What's the future? Last question for the guys here, but what's your future of Tom, Mr. Tom?
My future is well, I obviously had a lot more time for racing in general when I was working offshore. But I'll be off for 2 weeks, home for 2 weeks, so I'd have 2 weeks constant.
Yeah,
Um, my wife's 6 months pregnant, so I'm gonna have a baby in 3 months. So I don't know if I can keep going under the stairs and pulling my wheel out on a Wednesday night, I'll still be around for a while yet. I mean, I used to say that by the time I'm 32, I'll giving it up, and I haven't. I'm going to be 33 in a few months. I don't know. The future holds for me is that I'll continue racing as long as I'm competitive. I know I'm probably not going to be a front runner, but I know in myself that if I did turn up, I could be a front runner. It's just having that enthusiasm to turn up. But as long as I'm competitive, just doing what I'm doing, I'm
yeah,
more than happy to keep racing because I like racing. I'm not going to try and blow smoke here, but I think I'm probably one of the cleanest, um, one of the fairest drivers, and I do like Malc as well, and I like racing the newer racers. I like to try and because it's nice to race against different racers, like different generations, especially if you're race, because it's nice when they write messages, like oh good racer, good bar, or whatever. Yeah, so as long as I can keep getting my wheel from under stairs, I'll continue being here. I mean, I'm obviously looking forward to this season because it's been a while since I've had a good tear up with Mike. I don't mean that in a bad way either. 'Cause
it's the racing point of view. I
oh
understand.
yeah, without a doubt. There's
Um,
no quarter inch, there's no quarter taken. So yeah, so that'll be my future.
okay. And as you said, like you're 32 now, and you said, like at the time you wanted to quit when you were at 32. How
Hmm.
many years? I know it's hard to say because I know you've got like personal and like, family stuff, but what's your aim? Was you say another few more years, seasons? Do you think?
Yeah,
And that'll
a
be
few
it.
more years, a few more years. Yeah, probably a few more years, mate. See how it goes. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to meeting you at Silverstone. I've already met Spud, so it'll be pretty cool to say hello to you and have a glass of lemonade or two.
Oh, yeah. It's like gin. Sorry on that one.
Yeah,
In your time, but
Jim.
gin. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's your lemonade sorted, sunshine
that's
on that
it.
one. But yeah, I mean, whatever happens, Tom. I mean, I hope you have a successful season this season. Like I said, I hope you do. If you do get the title, uh, you know, fair play to you. You
I'll
know,
just take a podium. That'll be me. That'll be my aim for the season. Just a podium.
just one. You want one podium.
Yeah, yeah, that'll do.
You could do it. You could do what Mr. Scorsese did. He could be consistent, be in the top four, top three, whoever, and did not win a race and still won the title. So you just gotta be lucky.
Yeah, that'll be funny.
That'll,
We spoke about that not long ago, didn't we, as well? Just
yeah.
being consistent and you can still get up there. Yeah.
But if you can get consistent, you'd be had enough in that one. But fair play.
Oh, without a doubt.
Um, all right. Actually, one more question before we shoot the wrapping up, guys. But
Absolutely.
who's your best driver that you raced against, and who's the best defender
Oh, best driver that I've ever raced against the best defender.
so far at Invictus?
Um,
I know it's hard because
I've probably got quite a few who have, with regards to just purely being at Invictus and in the F3,
yeah,
the best guys I've had wheel to wheel with are Gareth,
okay,
Captain Stiff, Brennan's, um, Notorious, because there's always a bit of respect there, like leaving the space, leaving. I could say quite a few. Clyde, Stephen. I know I'm probably going on now. Best at defending, that's a good one. 'Cause not many put up a defence against me. I'd have to say, I
who's
don't know.
tough? Who was the person or driver that
You can,
you had tough to overtake during your time at the F3 or Performance League at
Quite.
Invictus?
I'd have to say Mike's a nightmare to overtake because you don't know if he's moving left or moving right. He does leave it late sometimes, and I hope he don't do that this season. But he can be hard to overtake. If you need to, once you've overtaken him, you have earned it. And probably Brennan's because he won't give up. He's always with you. Because me and him run on tracks together. So yeah,
Okay,
that's me,
fair
man.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I just want to say a massive, massive thank you for joining me with the podcast. It's been
Pleasure.
it's an absolute pleasure. I feel like I've known you for even more than a decade ago. But like I said, I wish you all the very best in whatever you do, whether you carry on racing after this season or, you know, for a few more years of your veteran status still there. Um, but yeah, I just
OAP.
OAP, get your bus pass fare, or anything like that. But it's just an absolute privilege, and like I said, I wish you all the very best for this season and in the future, whatever happens. All right.
No, cheers, Malc. I mean, this hour and a half has flown in. But yeah, thanks for having me, and hopefully I can speak to you again during the season, post race or in the podcast. So thank you very much.
It's all right. Thank you, Tom. Just like I say, a big thank you to everyone that joined in the stream. I think it was Mike, Gareth, Stephen, and Scott as well. So cheers for that, guys. I was going to mention about the season of the pre-season race one race results, but I might as well do all that in the next week's with the pre-season races, double it up. But yeah, if anyone would like to join, by all means carry on. But for you, Tom, like again, I wish you all the very best in whatever happens. And I'm just going to say my last bits now. I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I'll see you all next week at the podcast. So always remember, always, always, always remember, stay classy. Cheers for that, guys, and I'll see you all next week at the Invictus Racing League Inside Track podcast. Ta-ra, bit. Ta-ra.